What's up, everybody? UFC 310 is over, and once again, the UFC proved that they are the leader in MMA, especially if you consider all the bad circumstances surrounding that event and to pull such a great event. And yeah, that was that was spectacular. So I came out here to give my thoughts on some of the fights and also play a little matchmaker. And I would love for you to go to the comment section, agree or disagree with me, share your thoughts, and also if obviously you can only speak about so many fights. It's just some fights we will talk about, but if there is any fights that you believe that we should have had given some attention to, we didn't mention, please go ahead and do so and share your thoughts on it. And so let's begin. So Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. It's just a question, the obvious question. Do you guys think it is time for Chris Weidman to hang up the gloves? I believe so. And Dana White is also of the same thought. I think, obviously, Chris Weidman has already cemented himself as one of the best in the game. He was a champion. He defeated the great Anderson Silva, beat him the first time, and then the second time beat him again, even though you all knew this story was because Anderson Silva got injured. But regardless, he defeated Anderson Silva twice, and I think to have that on your resume and MMA is definitely something to cherish for the rest of your life. And yeah, so I think he should retire. So let you guys let me know what you think Chris Weidman should do next. And the next fight we're going to talk about is Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. At my little prediction video, I did have Sterling to win the fight, and I guess I wasn't completely totally wrong, because Aljamain Sterling didn't win the fight, but he definitely gave Evloev a very competitive fight. As a matter of fact, there are few voices out there who believe that he could have walked out with the decision, but Evloev had the decision. And so what do you think should be next for those guys? Obviously, Evloev, we could say he's next for the title right now, but we need to also understand, if we look at the landscape of the 145 right now, so you have Ilia Topuria, the champion, just knocked out Max Holloway. I would think, if I were to guess, I would think Max Holloway's next fight would be a fight for the BMF title. Obviously, he holds the BMF title right now, and there are plenty of contenders worth of a BMF opportunity been calling him out. So I think he would be fighting one of those guys. So I would say that would be a non-option as either for Sterling or Evloev. So because we need to look, even if Evloev would be technically, we could say he's next for the title, but he's not really next, unless we are forgetting about what his name, Diego Lopez, because Diego Lopez was to begin with, that's what I have heard, that he was going to be next for Ilia Topuria. So if Diego Lopez is next for Ilia Topuria, which means Evloev has to wait. Is he gonna wait without taking a fight? And I would think he would probably wants to take a fight in the meantime. And if he wants to do that, I think the ideal opponent for him would be like Yair Rodriguez, because I don't think Max Holloway is gonna be the guy. He's probably gonna fight for the BMF. I think Yair Rodriguez would be an excellent option for him. Obviously, for Sterling, the ideal fight, dream fight, would be a fight against Brian Ortega, but there was those rumors about Brian Ortega moving up to 155, so who knows? And then another option would be Arnold Allen for Aljamain Sterling. All right, so let's move on to Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Dominic Reyes. Obviously, it seems like Anthony Smith was having a very hard time for the past couple of weeks, and now he got finished by Dominic Reyes. So we could ask the same question for Anthony Smith. Do you guys think it is time for him to retire, or do you think he should continue fighting? In my opinion, I think Anthony Smith should be allowed the chance to at least have one more fight. And the reasoning is because if you have had such a difficult a difficult couple of weeks, it is unfair that would be your last fight, unless it's his decision. But other than that, I think it would be, whatever. It's always gonna be his decision, right? But if I'm playing matchmaker here, I'm giving my thought. I think I would have loved to see Anthony Smith. That's what I should say. I would have loved to see him fight at least one more time. Maybe he has a chance to at least retire with a win if he wants to, or we would know exactly where he is at, because he would be more at 100% more prepared, more prepared mentally, physically, to be present completely and end the fight, instead of having so many heavy thoughts dominating his mind while he's trying to face a dangerous man. And so that's my thought. And for Dominic Reyes, my question for you guys: do you think Dominic Reyes is making a resurgence, a comeback, coming to his old self, or do you think this is just favorable circumstances? You fighting a guy who is past his prime and has had a couple of bad, couple of 2 weeks, and then so you finish him. So what do you think? Do you think Dominic Reyes is still championship material? Obviously we don't know. And the other question too: who do you think Dominic Reyes should face next? I don't have anybody in my mind right now. But maybe Johnny Walker. I think Johnny Walker might be might be a good option for him right now. And who do you think maybe Anthony Smith should face next? But anyway, so let's move on to Themba Gorimbo versus Vicente Luque. Now, on my prediction video, I picked Themba Gorimbo to win the fight, it's because of his story in general, where he came from his home country, South Africa, to see where he is right now, and the focus that he has and the mindset. It seems like one of those guys that they're determined they're not going to lose, and you feel like you need to go along with their mindset. And I believe that a lot of people probably picked him to win as well. But once again, Vicente Luque proved that he's still there and he's still ready to defend his spot in the division. And it's one of those guys also, we can ask the question: do you think he's making a resurgence, or do you think this is just kind of a random win? Because obviously we've seen guys like Michael Bisping, like Glover Teixeira, guys who finally realized the championship goal at a little bit older age, and it's beautiful. Actually, it's beautiful to see that those guys can continue to compete and continue to have a dream and realize it, at such age. And do you think that might be a situation for Vicente Luque, to where he's going to become that animal, and before we know it, he'd be fighting for a title shot? And and Themba Gorimbo, who do you think he should be facing next? Anybody in mind? Just throw it out there. And then we have Cyril Gane versus Volkov. Who do you guys believe won the fight? Obviously, the judges awarded the fight to Volkov, and even if you look at the post-fight interview, even Gane didn't really believe that he won the fight. In my prediction video, I had Gane winning the fight, but I'll be honest, I felt like Volkov won the fight. But I'm not a judge, you're not a judge, and even then I had said, hey, they're not a judge, so the judges gave it to Gane, and it was a close fight. I haven't watched the fight again. I don't think I have any reason to watch it again, but I don't know, maybe if I watched it again, I might change my mind. But I felt like Volkov won the decision. So who do you guys think won the fight, and who do you think they should fight next? For me, I think I still believe that Gane has what it takes to become a champion. Obviously, And again, this is my opinion. You guys can tell me what you think. I felt like he didn't show all he had shown before in the cage. I felt like he's a lot better than what we saw last night. It might have been the, the Volkov ability that kind of closed him up a little bit. He couldn't really implement his own game plan. But I felt like we've seen a lot better in from Cyril Gane before. So I still think he should be next in line for the title. Obviously, saying this loosely because we know there's a lot going on with the heavyweight right now. We have John Jones, the champ, and Aspinall, the interim. So we cannot have two guys running a belt simultaneously at the top of the division. They are obviously have to fight each other, or unless John Jones decides to relinquish the belt, then Aspinall would have to fight someone else, or he would become, I'm not sure how all this works, but he would obviously become automatically the true champion, or would have to fight somebody in the near future to determine the true champion. And I think that should be Cyril Gane. I don't see who else he fights. Then for Volkov, obviously, with all that's going on with the heavyweight division, I don't think he would want to wait for a title shot. I would think he would want to go around and get another fight before he has an opportunity to fight for the title. So he would have to fight one of the guys on the top of the division. Right now, nobody comes to mind. But if you have any name out there, just throw it out. And so let's go ahead to Ian Garry versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Really, a very interesting fight. And I must say, guys, listen, so for Ian Garry, when he came out and he did what he did to Neil Magny, he pissed me off. And he pissed a lot of people off. Obviously, Neil Magny is the Haitian sensation. So that really pissed me off. But I must say, he has won me over. Yes, I'm on Ian Garry's camp for sure. And I'm sure he has won a lot of fans over last night with that fight, with the whole week preparation coming into the fight, in the 3-week fight notice, and the performance he had last night, the post-fight press conference. I am impressed with Ian Garry on everything, really. I mean, he had at some point it seems like he was on his way to just turn things around completely, and he might be the winner. Daniel Cormier was somebody who mentioned something, and he said something to where he said Shavkat is trying to take him down with a body lock and he should go on a leg or something like this. And like I said, I don't know the technicalities of all these things. I'm kind of trying to paraphrase what that Daniel Cormier said, but and that's exactly what Shavkat did, and he did turn things around. And again, that also proved the mentality of Shavkat. He's not 19-0 for no reason. He's definitely championship quality, because he knew he had to change something in order to come out with the win, and he did just that, and that, I think, got him the win. So we already know he's going to fight for the belt next, and I believe Ian Garry, it's obvious too, he should fight the winner of Colby Covington versus what I'm trying to say, Joaquin Buckley. Obviously, they were already set to fight this coming weekend, and also there is a lot of animosity between him and Colby Covington, so that would be a great fight to make. Ian Garry would have loved the opportunity to just smash Colby Covington, and just if by a miracle Colby Covington would beat Joaquin Buckley next weekend. But yeah, guys, Ian Garry really impressed me. He did with his performance and with his post-fight press conference. And it's almost like, you look at all these little hurdles that he had gone through in the last couple of years. It seems like he's definitely putting them behind him. And you can see he is rallying slowly, bringing the masses back into his camp again. It seems like he's a star in formation for sure, especially when you look at someone like Conor McGregor, who is the biggest star in MMA, not just from Ireland, but he's kind of fading away a little bit, especially with all the scandals and stuff, which I'll be making. I'll have a little discussion about. Just stay tuned for that. And but I think Ian Garry is really stepping into the frame in a big way. And you look at the way he's talking, he's saying things like he said he didn't feel like he lost, and I totally agree with him. And he also promised to win the fight the next time he fights Shavkat again, and he promised to become a champion. I believe all of it. I do. I mean, he seems like, and you know what? If anybody wants to learn something from Ian Garry, I would say, hey, look, go to Brazil, get yourself a mature Brazilian woman, beautiful, right? And then, because look, I mean, I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but it seems like, listen, they say behind every great man, there's a great woman. Apparently, somebody is saying some good things in Ian Garry's ears, okay? And obviously, he has a kid also. A kid can bring a lot of change in your life. But I think the young man is doing fantastically great, and I would have to think the person he's with has a lot to do with it. And even in the way Ian Garry is giving credit to his family, his the fans, his team, he's spoken very, very brilliantly about these people, and I think that shows a lot of growth in him. So yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know what else to say about him, but yeah, I mean, he definitely earned my respect last night. So that was great. So let's move on to the main event. All right. So that Kai Asakura and Alexandre Pantoja. So we all know the story. Kai Asakura, kind of superstar in Japan. Came in with a lot of buzz around him, and for a minute he shows like he could beat a fighter with those kind of flashy knockouts and stuff. But Alexandre Pantoja, I think, did something that basically he carried on his shoulder last night the entire UFC roster, because we always hear those talks about cross promotion, cross fighting in between different organizations. The idea, at least in people's mind, is like the best fighters are in the UFC, and I feel like all eyes were, in a sense, on that fight to see how it was going to play out. And I probably feel like Alexandre Pantoja felt all that pressure too. How was he going to fare against this guy who came from another promotion they don't consider as top notch as the UFC, and how he was gonna fare, and he proved that he was more than capable to show that really the best are in the UFC. And right now Kai Asakura has no choice but basically to fight some other guys, and basically he needs to get the slow welcome he should have had to begin with, because it's a rare thing for somebody to come and land into a title shot on your UFC debut. So who do you think he should fight next? I'm not sure. Maybe somebody like Manel Kape, but somebody kind of on the lower end of the top 10. That way, give him time to acclimate. And I'm not saying anything bad about him. He showed that he's a guy with some very skill, but not in any moment, except that knee maybe, but not in any moment I felt like Alexandre Pantoja was in any danger in doing that fight. So I think he probably need to fight, one of those two guys and see how give him enough time to familiarize himself with the octagon and everything. And I think that would be a great option. Obviously, for Alexandre Pantoja, it should have been, if I guess I'm not a matchmaker. I don't know. I'm just whatever. But if I were a matchmaker, I probably said that in a video before. I thought Kai France would have been the guy to be fighting last night against Alexandre Pantoja. So to me, he is the obvious choice for him for his next fight. So yeah, so Kai France against Alexandre Pantoja for his next title defense. Anyway, he did call Mighty Mouse. I don't think the Mighty Mouse is going to come out of retirement. Would be a great fight. And then White didn't seem to oppose to it. He didn't say yes. right away, but he didn't seem like he would be opposed to it. And I understand why Alexandre Pantoja would like to have somebody like Mighty Mouse on his resume. I mean, obviously it makes sense. Everybody would understand that. But anyways, guys, I don't want this video to be way too long. So I'm gonna stop here. But I would like for you again to go to the comment section, share your thoughts, agree or disagree with me, and do your own matchmaking. And also please share this video and subscribe to my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you.